Labyrinth. Literally the most... I hate Labyrinth for two reasons, right? Sometimes my RNG sucks when it comes down to, like, hitting a character, and you can relate to this. I think you can. You hit a character, right? And you're like, that's definitely going to kill. It proceeds to leave them 1 HP or a little bit above. That happened to me twice, and I lost Labyrinth twice on the second floor because of that. Stupid thing, but I did finish it after my my third attempt over here on Global. Super easy. Mainly the first run was also just scuffed on RNG. Again, today's the guide. It's all my tips and tricks for you to go and complete this and finish this. For proof that I did finish this, this is obviously my GoGo Global account, so this is my account. Not like, see, it's not like, dude, someone accused me of, like, on my last video, like, oh, no way he beat it. That's not real. It's like, first off, Shielder was easy. Shut up. Second, it's real. So here you go. I can move. I can do all that. I can claim if I wanted to. There you go. 30 gems. Or no, I have to claim accordingly. Never mind. But still, that's it. I beat the entire thing. This is 11th floor 3 to get the 30 gems. Today I'm going to teach you how to do it. Pretty simple. I went with this team over here being Brawler Bond, or just whatever, regular Bond. We have Red Gother, who died at the end there, which is stupid. But again, the final boss is Blue, which it'll kill any red unit unless you have some passives to help you with that. You have Green Escanor, and we have Green Hauser on bench. Overall, a pretty simple team that we did win with. Today, let's talk about it. If you're new to the channel, like and subscribe, helps out a ton. Let's jump into it. Let's break it down. So first off, I'm gonna have like some gameplay that I edit onto this video. It's gonna be just all speeded up, like at like an insane fast speed, so you can see it, because the entire like playthrough was about 45 to an hour. So it was a while, right? Because some of the stages took me a while to like first like remember the passives and like remember what I did. Don't know what happened with it, but overall, on the side with it. So this boss, this entire labyrinth, everything with it. First, the final floor will grant you a boss at the end, as every floor does. The final one is the end, a blue unit. The middle one, the second floor, will be Red King. The first floor will be Green Matrona. So very, very simple on those three bosses. The bosses on each floor is very, very easy to get through, depending on if you have the right passive and if you go first. Let's say you don't go first, expect a little bit of retaliation, in the words of, they're gonna smack the crap out of you. So very simply, that is the first thing just to get into your mind before jumping into this, right? So again, the path that I would recommend first off is nothing. Do what you want. You can't really recommend a path because there's always going to be chests that will RNG everything up, right? So there is no path that I can recommend you. I would say that you just always have an option to where if you think you're going to need that revive that might be locked away somewhere down the path that you see, then you accordingly move along. Let's say that you need that health pack that you see, you move along accordingly. In the first stage, obviously, to get the character picks, those are the ones that I actually focus on. For a character pick specifically, I would recommend Bond as your first pick. He will never die. It's very hard to kill Bond because he will keep life stealing, okay? I highly recommend that Bond is your pick. Screw Demon Melee, he is good too, yes, but I think that the best bet you can make is go Green Bond. He will destroy everything. I then very, very highly advise that you lean towards picking up Gother. Gother is another carry and will definitely very much help you. I would also recommend, if you do find Zaratros along your on your route, go for him. I wouldn't pick Zaratros over the two that I've already given you. I would like Red Gother to be already chosen for you. That's like a very good character. But if Zaratros is afterwards, you then pick him because he will also decimate in some capacity. He is a very strong DPS and he will carry you along the way. On the second floors, you can potentially, I think it's the second or third, you can potentially get Green Sariel, which is another carry. You can also find, what is it? Blue Tarmiel. Blue Tarmiel will also help you a lot because of his stance and keeping everyone alive. So there's two units you could definitely chase for. I recommend those two. On the Fez side of things, I recommend Fez Diane for being a very good stance and just like keeping you alive. And I do recommend Trader Meliodas, right? Two basic units you can also pick up along the way. I do recommend you get those units if they are provided to you. And then just, you know, keep that in mind that it will help you. On the passive side of things, I'm going to read out some of the passives I have currently on my account. So this is what I won with, and this is just so you know, get this passive. If you find this passive and you find the second passive, if you merge these passives together, you will literally win, guaranteed. There is no shot you lose unless you suck. There is literally, like, you have to be the worst player in the, like, world, and then you'll lose. But with these two passives, you'll win, okay? I'm not, if you do lose with these passives, calm down, it's a joke, but you shouldn't, right? So Revive is one of them. Revives with 1% of max HP when the hero dies. That's the first one. I then have the second one, which is called Overcome Crisis. Removes the hero's debuffs, fully heals all their HP, and increases every stat by 15% when the hero survives with 5% HP or less. Basically, if the hero dies, he will then revive at 1%. Then this other passive will get, you know, activated because he's now below 5% HP, and then boom, you will have 15% attack increase or all stats increase, and then you'll have full HP. What a freaking carry. And this is once per hero in battle. So basically, if Gowther dies on my team, he'll get revived. If Escanor dies, he'll get revived and then full HP'd. And then Bond revived, full HP'd. They all get revived at full HP. What a freaking carry. One of the best ones, all right? Another one, just keep in mind, if you're going for like an ult rush and you get like that ult orb thing, keep in mind that some stages will block off your ultimate gauge to where you can't do that. So even if you get that passive, don't rely on it too much. Have a strong team already to get through with it. Overall, again, the stages themselves are pretty easy. There's like one with Merlin, Gowther, and Deathbeers. That's very difficult. So that's like a really hard one to get through. But again, if you have attack disable being with Red Gowther, very good. If you have stance with Sariel, that's also very good. So there are a lot of options you can go through of characters that will really, really help you. There is a Hauser somewhere that has a counter strike, right? Which it's like he puts up a stance, and then if you attack him, he attacks back. It's actually pretty good, but not like the best. So I'll definitely not like recommend it, but you can get away with it. Like you can genuinely get away with it. And everything will kind of check out, but I wouldn't recommend it on higher floors. It definitely doesn't do too much damage beyond like that certain point. So just keep that in mind. That's just what I recommend. And again, basically on everything, with King, I recommend you go first. He really is like a squishier unit or like thing. So you could kill him, okay? You could kill King 100%. There's no shot you can't kill King. But when it comes to Matrona also, there's no shot you can't kill her. When you get to Deanne also, like, she mainly has stance disable. So if you are building a stance team, realize that she can also stance disable you. But really, she's also, if you crit her, she, like, dies, okay? But if you don't crit her, you're going to be, like, choking up, like, barely any damage. So I would recommend rushing an ult on that stage. I rushed Bond's ultimate and Escanor's ultimate, and that's how I won. So that stage mainly was that. I think really the only difficulty you'll find in this is just hoping for good units or passives. That's literally it, right? Hoping that on the RNG side of things, like for me, right, I did go through the paths and I did like on some of my runs, I did run into like just maxing out a level 100. But like once you hit another one, you don't go beyond level 100. So those are just basically useless buffs. Like they don't do anything for you. So I don't know why that's the thing. They added this new RNG element, and it pretty much sucks. It ruins, like, the skill of it. Like, oh, I can create this path, because, again, they were, like, seeing that people were just using one path. This is now going to separate it. So, like, in my guides, I usually give you a path that's the best. And this one, I can't do that, because there's now a chest system, which just adds a little bit more RNG into it. It's not too easy, but I think that they did kind of, like, streamline the bosses themselves. They're easy, right? Just depends if you can out CC. Depends on what units you brought into it. For example, King will one-shot any green unit you have. So I suffered on that stage because I had a full green team. But I did get through it after a little bit of trial and error. So overall, that's all the tips that I can give you. It's mainly just you have to understand how a unit works, their passives, what the best units are. Those are like the best thing I can give you, right? The best thing I can give you is run your team, like start off the bat with Green Bond, Red Gowther, pick whoever you want as a third. Maybe a strong DPS. I picked Green Escanor. You can pick Red Escanor. You can pick anybody like that. You can pick Tarmiel for the stance, and just fully run through all the stages. Try your best to out CC on the final one. If you can't pick another character beyond that, counters will definitely help you. But remember that on the final stage, there's no counters available. They don't work because she will, again, stance disable you. So that is something to keep in mind, and that's worth knowing. The passive side of things, lean on the ones that I told you. Revive is really good. Anything that's like lifesteal, grants you lifesteal, is also pretty good. If there's also one that's like an SR or an SSR. It's called crit chance increase. It just like over the board increases your crit chance by 50%. Because of that, I kept critting on every single ultimate I had for every character. So that is very big. Okay, and when Gowther does use his ultimate, he did crit like a few times on all 3 enemies, and it hits for a lot. So when that does happen, that is there. Also, there's like, if you're running a human team, there's human buffs that can help you. Also, if you're running different, obviously, as always, different races of units, right? So if it's a demon, if it's a human, if it's a unknown, that will also help you if you can get those buffs. Again, you'd have to just build the buffs accordingly. And I do recommend at some stages, you chase a buff over chasing like a revive or chasing over an ult increase. Some buffs are really, really good. So if it's like you got RNG on a stage and it granted you a stage instead of giving you a buff, just go for that stage if it gives you a passive, right? So that's just my quick 10 cents on everything. Overall, though, pretty simple thing to get through. Mainly the tips that I can give you is just understand which like path you can go down of to where you want to reach. Okay, so like let's say you want the revive, you chase that way. Again, always like have yourself too never on the edge to where you're only getting one buff. Like try to like space it out to where you always get two things, or rather two like purple boxes or whatever, so they can grant you something, right? So always keep that in mind. Also, that's worth mentioning. I just realized that too. But again, you know, the 3 bosses are pretty simple. They each have a different element, so don't like chase with one element team. Try to like, you know, have each element differently. Again, I'm telling you now, Attack the Sable will carry you through it. Trainer Meliodas will carry you through it. Fez DM will carry you through it. I think also Goddess Elizabeth works. Someone sent me a screenshot of them beating with Goddess Elizabeth. So if you have that, you can run that. If you want to build like a whole goddess team, you can too. I think that the Liz at the beginning also buffs goddesses. Up to you. Try it. I'm giving options here. You try whatever you want. Overall, it's all pretty good. But yeah, you should have fun with this. It shouldn't be that difficult. Definitely more of a straightforward one. Easier than the first one, not easier than the second one, but still overall pretty simplistic if you just understand it as mentioned. So again, have fun. That's been it for me. I'll catch you the next one. Have fun, stay safe, peace out, enjoy. That's just a quick guide, my tips and tricks, and what I did to win, and some of the gameplay to go along with it. So, peace out.